Hello again and welcome back. Now as promised, it's time for the router. We did them all, remember, in the last video. All a lot of them have been done now, except for the router, because I want to go a little bit more involved with this. Also, before I take it out on site, project I need to do first, making a little jig. This is the DCW604. You've got, of course, the very highly acclaimed T-Lock box, which we all stack up together as we know. You've nameplate on the pump, what you can do, nice handle there, maybe move it around with. Inside we have a lot of stuff. Firstly, standard charger, 5 amp hour battery, second 5 amp hour battery. Of course it depends on the kit that you buy. What comes in it will depend. What you will get is the basic tools of them all. You will get the trimming base. You will get, if I can get it out, okay, rib pens, one, dust extractor for one of them, dust extractor for the other one. Bag of bits and 2 bars for your pens for that one. A spanner. Another bit of pens, this is for the trimming one. So they go together. This goes with this one that I can now get out. This one being the Plunge base with the machine as well in it while it's stacked in the box. First point of criticism I've got to say is this bloody lousy box. It is rubbish. Whoever designed the interior of that didn't want you to get used to it. Didn't want you to enjoy it. It's got a pull out, which I recommend you pull out and throw away. Nothing fits in here properly. This fits in that bit there, but it doesn't really want to. It's not touching the bottom, it's got gaps, it's tight to get in, and that must go into it in order for it to go into the box. These have got specific spaces, but they don't fit. This has to have, both of them have to have the dust extractors removed before they'll go back in the box, which is no good. But generally, the layout of the box is appalling, it's terrible. I would not use the box as it's laid out. But, that being said, let's get on to the machine itself. First off, let's have a look. The Plunge base. Now the Plunge base, very nice. It has an action, unlike normal, where you would push it down and use this lever to lock it. With this one, it releases it and you move. And when you let go of it, it locks it in the position you want it to be in. You can push a little further to ensure it stays there. You also have the locking lever. Once the router is in, that locks it into place. Now on this side, you'll see we've got our preset depth stops. You've got the 3 at the bottom, which you get on all Plunge routers, and then you've got the adjustable one with fine adjustment at the top. Slacken that off so you can see it. So you've got there adjustment points there when you lock it. You've also got at the bottom here a screw point for giving you even finer adjustment from that. On the bottom here, this is for the rib pens, these 2, which goes in, and at this side here you'll take your dust extractor base, which is this one, goes in there, locks into place quite nicely, and that screw, which again to the bag, fits in there. That works very nice. It really does collect the dust, which for the router is quite useful. The machine, we'll come back to that in a second. The machine, as you can see, nicely polished steel, and it's got this threaded section running up it, which we'll come on to on the other jig. Here is your spindle lock. It has a quarter and it comes with a 3/8 collet as well. On this side you've got a speed adjustment going up to 7. Here you've got the on-off switch. And at the top is where the battery goes. Now when you're putting it into this jig, you must slide it so that this is in the groove. When we find it, there. But you've got it on both sides. So there is a possibility of putting it in the wrong way round. That is the wrong way round. Reason being, you can't get to the switch. You must remember when you're putting it in to have it so that the switch is accessible. There. When it's in, you lock it. Then you can adjust it to where you want it to be. That is how this system works. Next, the trimming base. Now, the trimming base normally when it comes out of the box comes with this, a square edge base on it. I've changed it for the rounded base. Reason for that is this one takes the collet that I need for my job. Now, just a quick point on that while I remember I need to cover this, and that is that when you're putting this on, make sure you've got a router bit in there to align the centre of this, because these holes are larger than the thread, so everything's got the option to move, and it does. So to get that dead centre there is vital, otherwise when you're going round, as you turn this, your bit will be moving. So you need to centre that. You've got to centre these and lock it up tight. If you're a person where you're going to have to swap these constantly over and over, then all I can do is have sympathy for you, because it's tedious. It took quite a while to get that perfect. Once it's done, lock them tight and leave it. Don't bother with that one, leave it. Taking this out and swapping it for other sizes, that's no problem. It's this clear Perspex base that has that problem. Right, beyond that, what we've got here is, as normal, we have a rib fence that goes with it. This will lock onto the side. There, I believe it is. That's it. Onto the side there, you've got two grub screws that will go, and this will then adjust backwards and forwards, giving you everything edge, should you need it. You have a good solid grip around the body with a locking lever at the front. Going on to the top of this, we have a locking ring. This is your adjuster for the router itself. And you'll note at this point here underneath the Dewalt sign there is a pointer, and on the yellow there is calibrations going from 0, which is there, round to 1, okay, we've got centre, and we're going round to 6 either side. So how far up and down you're going is what it's calibrating. Of course, you still have to set yourself basically the size. Right, first thing we do with this is we take the unit and we put this onto it. These two press levers here should be on top. They're what's actually grabs onto this, like so, and then let go of it, and up it comes. Turn it over and put it onto here. And when you put it on here, spin it all the way to the top. Then insert this into here so that you can see that, like so. Do not lock it. Once it's in, squeeze the two lugs and locate it onto the base so it won't come off. Now, by rotating it, you're lifting and lowering that unit. So that is your adjuster. But once you've adjusted this to where you want it, you can see there where it's coming and how it protrudes through as you rotate this. Once you get it there, you lock it. Now when you're doing your work, if you go, oh that's not quite deep enough, you read your markings on here to see where you're set at. And there I am set at 1. So, if it's not deep enough, I can increase that 1 to 1.5, 2. You see, just a little bit. But I know where I was and I can return back to it. That's where I was, and that's where I want to be. And that's the idea of that adjustment. Again, this comes with a dust extractor, which is this one with that wide mouth on it, and it just sits in there like so. And I've got to say, it's a little fiddly getting these nuts into place because they're long and they take a while to wind it all down, and in my opinion it's fine as long as you can leave it on. But in that box you can't, you've got to take it back off again, which peeves me off a bit because it means I'm spending longer putting on this dust extractor than I could be doing the actual job. There, we're finally on. Okay, that one's far quick and far easier. Now, in general, for those of you that haven't used one of these type of router setups before, there's quite a few of them around. What you have and what the purpose of it for is simply this one, the trimming base, is for doing, like it's called, trimming. So if you're doing edge of worktops or any kind of boarding, you've got an edging bead on it and you want to get rid of it, this does it. If you're, say you want to do a round over the edge of something, this does it. If you're doing a jig, say cutting out hinges and such, this does it. That's what this is for, all them sort of jobs. This one, the plunge router, is for doing all the other type of work. You want to do rebating, you want to do intricate detail work, you can do with this. Freehand, because you've got good control of it all. And you've got good visibility. With this, very restricted, you can't really see what's going on down there. With this one, even with this on, you can see perfectly clear everything that's going on, and you can follow your lines nice and easily. And that's what that one's for. Now then, the machine itself. Let's have a listen, see what you think. It's very nice, in my opinion, very nice. Was that switched off? Yes. Not silly loud. And good control. Electronic brake is almost like someone's grabbing it, isn't it? Very quick. That's because the magnet inside of it, because it's brushless, the magnets without power suddenly block it. Doesn't matter. Good idea. Very good principle of how that works. And I like the double LED, especially if you're in this jig and you're running down, because this jig has on-off switches. That's it. Because this jig has it all open, you can see what you're doing. That light helps you to see where you're going. And there we go. Right, now, that is the basic introduction to the machine. What I want to do now is set it up for the two operations and show you what it's like. Okay, first off I'm going to cover the trimming base. I've got the dust extractor fitted and I've got the unit mounted in to it being flush. So basically all I do, release this and send it down until it's stopping. You see, it's starting to lift the base there. There we have it, that's 0. So that is just at the bottom. Yeah, I've got a little bit of scratch there, so it's only just touching. And then I'm going to read off of the scale here what it is saying. And that is saying 2.5. So 2.5 on the plus side. That's the minus side, that's the plus. It's my terminology. Yeah, one side plus, one side minus. Up and down. So 2.5. If I want to go beyond that, click that and then move that way, I'm coming down. That's why I call it the plus. going back up, 2.5, there. Now I know I'm not going to touch the floor. What I want to do here is attach the rip fence. Now the rip fence comes with 2 screws there. It's a storage place for them. Where to put them when you're not using them so you don't lose them. I looked in the bag, spent ages looking in the bag trying to find them, couldn't find them. Then I realised where they was. Now when you put this base on, do note, them 2 screw holes need to line up with these 2 screw holes. Like I did, you could put it the wrong way around, and I did. And then 2 screw holes were in the wrong place. It wasn't until I decided I was going to fit this that I realised I need access to them screw holes, because this goes in that way and the screws have got to go through from this side. You need something magnetic because you can't hold it while you're putting it in there. Take it down, tighten it up. Job's done. Right, now we've got a rip fence. We can slacken this off and slide it right up as far as we want. We can go past it, so we're rebitting into timbers, or we just want to trim off. We're wanting to trim off, so we're going to be there. So I'm there at 5, I'm going there 5, that should give me about 2 mil there. Let's see what we've got. That should give me about 2 mil of cutting depth. Yeah, you can see there I've got a couple of mil sitting out. That's going to be good for me. So there, I'm just getting used to calibrating myself with this scale so I can relate to it and know what that bit is doing. That's all I'm doing there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to use that and I'm going to trim on the edge of this. Just a scrap bit of wood, just for the sake of doing it. Right, now we need the battery on. Before you put the battery on, go to the on-off switch and press the off, just to make sure. You never know when it's been in the box, you could have picked it up and accidentally put that on. Check it is off. Just get a habit of doing that. Whenever you're going to put the battery on, just press that off switch, just to make sure you're happy. Because I'm overhanging, obviously you don't get all of it up, but it's picking up the fine dust, so there's nothing in the air, that's the myth. But whenever you got a cold plate hanging off the edge, you're always going to get dust on the floor. As you can see there, quite a nice, clean, rebaited metal. Let's now go to an insert rebate. Very nice, very clean, very beautiful. And of course at the end of it, give it a good blow out. And now remembering, switch away from that, so it's that way around, open, and slide it down, lock it in. Now when it's in this base, you can forget to test the switch. But if you've got the habit, keep the habit. Before you put the battery on, check it. Right, what we're going to do is I want this to protrude through there just. Which would be that. Okay, once we've got it there, set your depth stop. Then you can go down, plunge down for it. Right, piece of timber. Okay, start off, let's make some interesting shape. how's that? I want to router that out. And there you see, not as perfect as you would get if you had a jig set up round it, but you can see it's very possible to do. Now it's out the dust etc. This time I'm just going to do something for you. Now that is how I do a jig when I'm lighting. There you are. So that is the purpose, main purpose, of having a plunge router. Your trim router, it's nice, easy, get out of it, just use it, and if you've got the rip fence on it, you can run down edges, round and over and such things like that. Rip fencing on this does pretty much the same as that. The one thing this comes into its own is the ability to be able to manoeuvre it. You can't really with this, you ain't got much control. This one, you've got a lot of stability. And that's it for this. Now, what I want to do next is move on to making a jig. So, as this one's run on long enough already, we'll end the video here and come back and do the jig itself. So anyway, any questions on this so far, shove in the bottom, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't already subscribed, I suggest you do if you want to catch the next video, and hit the bell so that you get the notification as soon as I've done it, which will be pretty soon. Also, if you liked it, I'd appreciate a like there. Right, thank you very much. See you again soon. Bye for now.